This time, you get to be the hero. Hey guys, MasakoX here. Now recently we have been going back to some of the old classic stories from the What If universe of ours, and giving them a follow-up, with Guinea being very much covered in the last few weeks, since we need to get a move on with that plot. However, there hasn't been that much time to dedicate to shorter stories, and ideas for those are a little on the light side because I can't resist really going into details with them and finding out the nuances behind each and every decision. I mean, you guys seem to like that, getting immersed into a particular variation on a constant theme, which has been around for over 30 years at this point. However, I feel that the What If model has been due for a bit of a kick in the pants, as it were. Try out something fresh. Let me know in the comments about what you think, and if you like the formula as it is, then be sure to tap the like button very gently. Not like how other people try and tell you to handle that button. You gotta be careful with it, with the internets after all being what they are. Haverock and I were discussing ideas whilst Toei is getting its act together with what it wants to do with its major property. What kind of what if could we do that really puts the idea on its head and really makes us think? That's when Haverock pitched this idea. Put the emphasis on you, the reader. I've seen various fanfiction stories where the story is from a first-person perspective, as in the reader becomes the character, and they are having to deal with the situation that is going on firsthand, instead of just watching it as if it were a regular episode of the show, somewhat detached from the action and passively watching. Now this time, we are going to try and see what it might be like in a situation that future Trunks has to deal with when it comes to him traversing the multiverse, and you'll only find out the consequences of it at the end. It also means I really get to dabble in the dramatic reading side of this, which is something I love doing, as you can probably tell. And I hope that you love listening to. Well, you might not as much when you find out what happens at the end of this, so do keep listening, friend. Okay, let's set the scene. It's time for you to concentrate and think of this story from the point of view of future Trunks, one of the characters that came onto the scene quite late in the Dragon Ball Z game and disappeared almost as quickly, but his time in the series was very well received, and he got a very massive following, relatively speaking. His time in Super may have been a little muddled, but it was a time that people still somewhat appreciated, and for this one shot, you get to be in on the action. Here we go. Your name is Trunks, and you are about to embark on a journey like no one before you has ever attempted. The world that you live in has been dealt a severe blow by the hand of two unstoppable menaces disguised as human teenagers for almost 2 decades. The life you've known up to now has been molded by them, and you are sickened by it. However, thanks to the ingenuity of your mother, Dr. Bulma, you will be able to beat them, not with energy or power, but time itself. With your combined effort, there is a small chance of you stopping all the bad things from happening in the first place. It has never been proven how time works, but whatever happens, it's got to be better from you at least trying. Your father, your mentor, their friends, they all can be alive again perhaps, in some other future. Maybe not in yours, but someone else's. You could do some good. You've been preparing your entire life for this, but you have hope that everything can be fixed. After all, hope is the only thing that's keeping you, your family, and the entire human race going. Something has to change. The time has come. The craft is fueled and space-worthy. What kind of space you will be traveling in, though, you have no idea. You bid farewell to your mother. She sees you get inside the time machine and waves at you goodbye. You know that behind that bravado that she shares with her late husband, she is hiding sadness and fear that this might be the last time you will ever see each other. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. You don't know either. However, you believe that all this sadness doesn't need to exist. You will succeed. You will see her again. After an almost indefinable amount of time, since you are traveling through it, you arrive there in the past. It worked? I think so. But something's weird. According to the calculations, You were meant to see certain things to indicate that you were in the right place and time. You were about to meet with the legendary Son Goku, somebody who had passed when you were just an infant, and aid him in his battle with Frieza. There is no sign of the Galactic Tyrant's ship or Goku. In fact, there's not much sign of anything. Nobody's around. Everyone should have been here. What's going on? You open the hatch of the time machine and stand up to get a better view of the area and what you expect. From what you can see, your surroundings look quite barren, even when you compare it with your future almost entirely ruined by artificial humans. At least there was some semblance of civilization in random pockets here or there. Here, though, it's just wasteland. There is just a severely unnerving silence. Not a trace of life is here. You are probably the only human being for hundreds of miles. You check your time machine's controls once again, but it does match the location targeted. Checks out somewhat. What happened here? Your heart starts pounding. What could have happened to the machine? Did you not calibrate something properly? Did you just end up teleporting somewhere? And this is the same time? The computer got mixed up? The only thing that you know is that this is Earth, and therefore you should be able to breathe just fine. That's the only thing you know. After careful thought, you decide to explore. After all, you are a Super Saiyan. So long as you aren't met by androids 17 and 18, you can defend yourself well enough, so that means you can return back to the time machine. Right? The nervous tension is absolutely stifling. Soon enough, however, you come across the remnants of a city. Well, that's not right. You're meant to be in age 764 or something. The androids can't have possibly struck now. Everything should be peaceful. You can't sense any major powers, and you press on. You walk along the empty streets, seeing the buildings slowly being overtaken by nature. Whatever happened, it happened a long time ago. Nature had begun to take back the planet. Vines and trees starting to disguise the buildings and almost make the scenery somewhat pretty. It was certainly nicer than some places on Earth back in your own timeline. It's a shame, seemingly, that you're the only one to see this tranquility. There is no one around. No humans, no androids, and most definitely, no Saiyans. You try to sense something, anything, but there's no one here. Not even a regular old human with a power level of 5. You are on your own. You should be afraid of the unusual place that you have found yourself in. You should have been polishing off Frieza and delivering both the heart medicine to Goku as well as the message from the future. Now though, you are trying to wrap your head around the present. Silence. No bustle. It's funny. Everything looks almost peaceful, like it was just asleep, resting. This is not the past your mother told you about. Ever since you were a kid, your mother had regaled you about the adventures of Son Goku and her gathering Dragon Balls in a world where it was peaceful, vibrant, colourful. And aside from, the Red Ribbon Army, the rival of Capsule Corp, and the occasional villain, it was pretty great. They were all supposed to be here too. Your father, Son Gohan, Son Goku, and all the others. They were meant to be here, but they're not. You decide that all this change is just too much for you to deal with right now. Without further hesitation, you decide to retreat back to your time machine with some kind of comfort, just in case something is here waiting to jump you and you can't sense it. Better safe than sorry. Maybe it's best to head back and report to your mother that something faulty must have happened. You can do that, you have the fuel to go back. It's going to be another 8 months though before you can try this again, but it's best to at least be around to try again, right? However, you can't realize where you are, you can't figure it out. Everything looks the same, vine-infested and derelict. You look for familiar buildings, finding Capsule Corp. It's not destroyed, it's just left alone. Strange. You decide to enter the building. Maybe there's something there, a clue. You know it pretty much inside and out, the interior. For some reason, the androids never got around to wrecking it in your future, or in this one, or whatever. So therefore, it should be easy to get a handle on what's going on. You search it, but you hardly find anything. Everything seems pretty backwards. Mostly your grandfather's old notes. Very few of them are made by your mother, but no mention of your father at all. Where are the notes about Vegeta? There aren't even any remnants or traces that a Saiyan had even so much as walked these corridors or even visited here. You find an old memo written by Bulma's handwriting. Meet with Goku from October 12th of age 761. A chill courses through your spine. Age 761? Well, that sounded familiar. Weren't they meant to have defeated Raditz at that time? This is a clue. Now we're getting somewhere. But something inside you is telling you to go back to the time machine now. This is a lost cause of the multiverse and you can't save it. Go back and we can try and save another one. Please, Trunks, your inner voice is telling you to do this, but you carry on. That's your dad's stubbornness for you. You go over to Mount Palsu to investigate, as you have a rough idea about where Son Goku's house was. You can take one of the aircrafts in a capsule. Those should still work, they're untouched. So, you pilot it. Your mother taught you how. You've been using it so many times. You fly above the mountains, see the forests, so empty, almost untouched, with only animals surviving. You can see Son Goku's house in the distance. Your directions were correct, but do you want to see it? It's badly damaged. There are signs of a fight that took place here. What you also find there shocks you. There are pieces of Saiyan armor and a crushed scouter. Raditz apparently failed in getting what he wanted, so that part is the same. That's the only part that's the same, seemingly. But it also looks like someone destroyed him with much ease. Goku wasn't strong enough back then to do that, barely so with Piccolo's help. You check the house, but you find nothing. All personal belongings are long since damaged. Clearly, this place looks like a grim reminder of something terrifying. You feel that your mother was here at some point. Was it the last place that she ever visited? Before she met your father? You shake your fist. This shouldn't be happening. You know you could go home right now and never have to see this place again. You could forget about it. But there's something that is keeping you locked on the spot. Something horrifying. You scream to the heavens, but all you can hear is just the echo of your own voice. Where is everybody? Your scream echoes through the hills, but you only just scared some squirrels in the distance. Silence is the reply. You've had enough. You have to go back to that day. You need to go to the time machine. The time machine must go back to earlier. Your thoughts are galloping. The aircraft flies high into the air as you rocket back to where your transponder says the time machine is. It's going to take about 20 minutes or so. 20 minutes to take this all in. Is this all your fault? Did the time travel that you just did change something? Can you even return to your own time? You don't know. You have doubts, and all of them are weighing on your chest massively. Time machine. Think. Machine. Time. Suddenly, you feel a spike of power. Someone is here. Someone powerful. Like they've just popped into existence from afar. You have two choices. You can face it, or you can run away. Your instincts tell you to run, and that's exactly what you are going to do. You arrive at your time machine. You're almost ready to go. Trunks. You hear a voice behind your back. For a moment, your heart is pounding with happiness. You know this voice. It sounds like Master Gohan? You turn around and you see a man. You recognize the face. It's not Gohan, but you recognize it from pictures. But something is off. Son Goku? You utter, surprised. The man is smiling, but not like the powerful warrior and the father of your mentor. It almost looks like someone is wearing Son Goku's face as a mask. He's also wearing black. Is this man mourning? How do you like my peaceful world? He asks you, still smiling. You're what? You don't really understand. The scars are slowly healing, and the world is becoming a paradise. You try to back towards your time machine. You don't like where this is going. But there is one last thing. You know what they say. If you cannot do something today, make it yesterday. You allow the energy to flow right through your body and try to throw yourself towards your time machine. Your golden hair floats, flutters, and sparks with small bits of energy. You're ready for anything now. But he appears before you, a man wearing the face of a ghost. In the last moments of your life, you decide to blow up your time machine. At least, he won't get. Goku Black looks at what was left of Trunks in the time machine and touches his time ring. Poor child. He couldn't have known. And that's where we will leave things. So what do you guys think? Do you like this change in formula for the what ifs? Is this something you'd like to see again in the future with another character? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!